What's up, my friends? Welcome back to 3 Star Draw. I'm down south 77, aka 3 Star Draw, and this here is an adult collector channel. Took a trip down and saw my buddy Jay at Yojo Depot, picked up the newest wave of G.I. Joe Classified. He's had them waiting on me for about 2 weeks now. I was just now able to get down there, so we're going to work our way through these new figures and I'll show them to you guys, see what you guys think about them. I'm pretty excited about the one we're going to look at in this video. This is number 178, Blaine Mainframe Parker. Pretty excited to get Mainframe. He's probably tied with Wetsuit out of my favorites for this wave. 86 was a great year for some Joes, and I think with the name onlys that we've got, I think this wave rounds out 86. We'll check that out, but I think this does it for 86 with these guys and then the name onlys we got. Anyway, Mainframe is an absolute badass. If you know anything about the comic, if you read the comic, Mainframe was pretty bona fide when it came to not just his computer skills but his combat skills. So I'm digging Mainframe. I've got dial tone, been waiting on him. I got a van all ready for them to do some surveillance on some Cobras in. So I'm excited to get him in the collection. So we're going to check him out. We're going to talk about, we're going to compare him in size to some other figures because other people I've seen have some complaints about Mainframe being short. Complained about Leatherneck being short. Now Mainframe's too short. People are going to complain about Big Lob being too tall next year. People are not the same size. Tunnel Rat was short. Of course, that makes sense for Tunnel Rat. Either way, I don't really care. Some people do. Let's find out together. As usual, we'll take a quick look at the box here. There's the front. There's how he's going to be packaged in there. Over here on this side, you do get your number 178. All of his attributes. You get your blued out portrait, your QR code, usual stuff. Go over here to the other side with his portrait, and not a very eventful one. I mean, doesn't look bad. It's not much of an action one. He's just sitting there holding his computer briefcase and his pistol, getting ready to hack into something or pop some caps into something. Let's see. Oh, over here on the back. There's the back. Look, he decided to pop them caps after all. Got his computer open, nice red screen on it. We'll see what it is that he is trying to hack into, if any of that's intelligible. And we get close up on backpack and his helmet. It's got his symbol on there that he had from the Real American Hero one, I do believe. And there is that. This is how he's packaged in the tray. Once you get him out, no surprises under there. Everything is on the top. Comes with a lot of cool looking little stuff. So kind of interested to look at some of this stuff and see if we can figure out what it is and maybe where it goes. Now it's time to check out Mainframe's gear. So we do have this pistol right here. Seen this one before, I do believe, a few times now. Not anything too spectacular on this. No paint apps or anything. Looks like your standard whatever. Pick your caliber. 9mm, 45, 40, somewhere along in those lines. Whatever you want it to be, I guess. But it is a bigger frame. Automatic. We've seen it before. Let's check out his knife over here. Again, your standard fare. On your knife, it's the little small, more like boot style knife. They did paint the blade, so I'm always a fan of that. And this is one of the ones that's not quite as blunt on the end, but either way, like it's 4 and up, folks. Little design there on the butt of the hilt. There is that thing. I'm going to look at this hose now because he does have this hose, and this is much, much thinner. So we just looked at sci-fi here. I just got my sci-fi review out. If you guys hadn't checked that out, it's available if you'd like to. So this is a thinner hose than the one sci-fi comes with. And I think I swear I still think the hose for Sci-Fi is longer than most, but this one's pretty thin. Same type of connector here on the end of it. I mean, nothing to write home about. Just this nice ribbed little hose here for that. What are we gonna do next? Let's look at this backpack. Design is pretty much the same as the Real American Hero mainframe backpack. I do like this. I like that they kept it the same. Flip it over, they hit the padding on the back that goes against his back with this nice gray that matches his outfit. His outfit antenna here. That antenna's, yeah, okay. It's a little bit bent, but I'm thinking this is meant to be flexible. Like all the new antennas have this flexible rubberized feel to them, like real antennas. I'm guessing that's meant to be that way. Nice. I don't know what that is. Looks like some sort of vent up there at the top, some kind of grill. Down here at the bottom, you get this fan. It's kind of funny that that fan is exposed on his backpack because you would think this is probably a pretty sensitive piece of equipment. I mean, I would think that. Your hose is going to plug in up there at the top. Over here is a spot for one of the other little things that he comes with to plug into. We'll look at that in a minute because I'm not sure which one goes there. And antenna going up. Do have a readout here. Looks like you got some binary on there. Scanning 10. Got some binary. So this is a different binary. I'm going to show you some other binary that he's got. I'm guessing that's what that is. Not a computer guy. Got connector, connection, active on there in green. Nice old school digital readout. And I think this opens. Does this open? Why does it look like this opens? I guess it doesn't open. Nope. Boy, that's like an outer piece that's glued on. I thought that opened up. It looks almost like hinges down there at the bottom to me, but this backpack is it's two pieces glued together. Interesting. Either way, there's the backpack. I like it. Looks good. I love that they put that on the back, even though if it's on him, you're probably never going to see it. Let's look at these two little deals that he comes with. So this is his thing that his hose is going to plug into this end. And this is I don't know what this is. I'm not gonna pretend I know what this is. Some sort of modulator, jammer, whatever. Got the exclamation point, like the connecting or connected with the exclamation point on there. Again, matches the backpack and the lettering, the font, and the color. And you get a little hose up here on the top of this. And this looks like this is going to plug in right there. So that's what goes on his backpack. It's going to be interesting, that hose. Maybe that's why that hose is so thin. Because if it was really one of these thicker hoses, it might make it pop off of there. I don't know. Well, let's go ahead and put this thing together while we've got it right here. Looking at it, as I say that, it goes in there pretty good. I don't feel like that's going to come out. What about on this end, though? No, that actually all fits together pretty well. I'm surprised. So, and down here, so yeah, I definitely think they probably slimmed the hose down, because of that. Like if this was the bigger hose, I think it might make those ends pop off of there. So now we got that one figured out. We'll set that over there. Does have another little handheld device. Doesn't look like this one plugs in, but I think this one goes in the holster. So on this one, got calling. Let's try out my little piece of paper here and see how that works. Brought this over here to see if that helps focus. Not really. Might have to try another color. I like these little foam sheets. I use them for a lot of stuff, for backgrounds and whatnot. This little sticky peel the back of them off and stick them to something, or you can just use them to accent. I think it'll work better with a figure than an accessory. So I don't know, might start trying that. Anyway, I don't really see how he's going to hold this unless he just grips the side of it. This antenna looping around here. So this is, I don't know, cell phone. It says calling. What is it? You guys tell me. Got his helmet. Pretty squishy. I shouldn't have any problem getting that on there. I do have his insignia there. I'm pretty sure this matches the Real American Hero one pretty well. I remember that being on there emblazoned in silver. And communications, I'm not sure what the actual symbol is. Looks like a eagle, wing spread, phoenix. I don't know. You guys tell me. I don't know what that's supposed to represent. Then over here on the side, do get his kind of nice looking helmet. It's not, full face. It's more like a, you know what this reminds me of? It reminds me of the caps they used in Return of the Jedi for Endor. That's what this kind of reminds me of. It's like a combination bump cap. Anyway, faithful to the original, so I do like that. We do get another head sculpt with him where he has his hat. Again, got the insignia on the hat. And you got your, look at that. Oh no, never mind. Thought that was 3 stars on there, but it's not 3 stars. It is 2 stars. And then whatever that eagle is perched on. Close, but no cigar. Comms helmet, got the headset. I kind of like that they went this route with this and made this all together with the cap. Oh, look, maybe it's a Richardson 112. That's what I wear. That's what it looks like. I like to put the detail in the back that this is a snapback cap. I dig that. Anyway, so you don't get removable comms and headgear, um, communication stuff. I like that this is all just one headpiece, one head sculpt, less to keep up with, less to lose. I like the idea of the removable cap like we got with Crazy Legs, but this guy already comes with a bunch of little stuff. So good idea because you get it all together and then you have a separate head sculpt as well. But this looks good. Skin tone looks good. All the paint, eyes are centered. So no problem with that. You can actually see all the detail in the cap too. I like it. Now we'll check out his briefcase, his computer case, laptop case, whatever. Um, Pretty plain on the outside. You can see that it is definitely like this nice hard case. Like this isn't a Swiss case. This looks like this pulls out. Look, would you look at that? I didn't realize that pulled out. That is awesome. I was just thinking that it looked like an SD card in there, and damn if it doesn't actually look like an SD card. Did not know that pulled out. So you got access, have a thumbprint. Get it up here where you guys can see it. Focus, access. You got a thumbprint. You got a looks like a heart rate. Looks like a heart rate monitor on there. Yeah, looks like a heart with a symbol. I can't quite make out the one on the right. Also helps if I try to show it to you guys so you can make it out, huh? See if that'll focus in. That's pretty cool. Did not realize that that pulled out of the side of the briefcase. Kudos, that's pretty nice. And I know this opens up. I just got to figure out which way. All right, there we go. So there is what you got when you open this up. All kind of stuff on there. I'm not even going to attempt to try to read off and make out everything that's on there. But it looks like you got a command screen over here. Maybe when I do a picture, we can. Yeah, so you got hack, shortcuts, notes. You got this Nice warning symbol on there, loading at the bottom, data. I like that. I said I wasn't going to try to make it out, but that's because I didn't think it was going to focus in on it. That's pretty cool. I like that. All kind of stuff. Even look at the top. You've even got the signal strength meter for like Wi-Fi and cell tower strength. And then I guess the one next to that's probably a satellite. Far left, you got your G.I. Joe logo. Man, that's cool. You got this. He's got a bunch of windows open. See a bunch of files back there. Um, and then that symbol that we're looking at, I guess that is what is on here, maybe. And it's opened that up. That's really neat. There's a lot of detail in this, and it's pretty clear too, as you can see. So you got some binary. Again, I'm guessing that's binary over here to the left in red. That's pretty nice. And then, of course, down here you got a keyboard. This is the part where I would say, oh, I wish they'd actually put letters on it. But, you know, come on. They did all this at the top. I'll let them go for not putting a QWERTY keyboard on this thing. Big old trackpad over here. Still a lot of detail in this keyboard for what it is. This is a cool case. And I knew this opened. I was just thinking that the backpack opened too. And it doesn't snap closed or anything. It's not loose, so I don't really feel like it's gonna pop out, but pretty cool case. Now let's check out Mr. Mainframe himself. His self. Let's look at Mainframe. Now, let's see. Face sculpt looks good. Not like super duper detailed. I don't need it to be, though. No missing paint or anything. All looks good. They've really gotten a lot better with these ink jets on the faces. They've been really good lately. There for a while, some of them were really off center, or they were cross eyed, or who knows what. Not a lot of detail in the hair. There's a little bit there. You can see a little sculpted in. I like that he's just got just kind of brushed over, unkept hair. He's kind of got hat head. It actually looks like he's got some hat head. And then kind of the same as low light. Down here on the bottom, shaved going around underneath. Not faded, just cut short. Now, there was a whole lot of debate, and I was involved in it as well, as to whether or not this guy is more than one shade of gray. There, I remember it was a huge thing online in some of the live streams and whatnot on whether or not this guy's multiple shades of gray. And I have him in front of me, and I still really can't tell. I don't know if my light is good enough for you guys to tell, but if you don't have him there, what do you think? I swore up and down that this was all the same color. And this is like that dress from a few years ago that was going around online. Like, was it blue and black or whatever? The two different colors, different people saw different things. I don't know. It's right here, and I still can't tell. It looks like possibly the pants may be a little bit lighter even than this part. I'm really going to have to get this guy super, super close up and look at him and see. Anyway, the undershirt part is definitely a little bit lighter, I think. Anyway, let's look at him. So that's enough about that. Does have a undershirt here. It's just got a white standard old Fruit of the Loom undershirt. Silver over here above the right pocket. Does have these buckles. I'm not sure what these are supposed to be right here, but they are the same color as the collar, and they look like they have a little wash on there, actually. That's pretty neat. Going down, so maybe it's Velcro. I don't know. It'd be weird up that high. I don't know. All right. It's kind of a gray jumpsuit going down. You have a darker gray where this would be the zipper. And then going down into the pants, I definitely, up close looking at it like this, I definitely think the pants are a shade darker now. So, okay, mystery solved. Buckle here on the harness has an interesting harness. It's got another little device up here that has some paint on it. Again, not sure what in the world this would be, but nice shiny paint on this and the buckle, same as above his right breast pocket. Got the silver there. Man, his holster actual swivels around, and that looks like, yep, that is on a mushroom peg. So if you want to take his holster off, you can. Interesting. But what I was saying about his belt and his web gear, so goes around to the back. You have this dual strap here meeting in the back, and all of this goes around and it all ties in to his belt with just this one strap here. Got a pouch on the left and on the right of his buckle. Nice shiny silver belt buckle that does have your eagle design on it. And then that even goes all the way down into his knife holster. Nice, whatever, leather. Looks like that's textured to be leather there. All this is black. And that goes down to his holster on the left leg as well, where his little, whatever we decided this was going to be. I'm guessing this is where it resides. Yep, fits right in there. So I don't. This is some kind of hacking device, I guess. I don't know. Leave that up to your imagination. Also, all of this is tied together. All of his um, web gear, uh, holsters, all of it is tied together. You're going to have to cut this or take this guy apart if you want to take this off. Very, very interesting. I know we haven't seen anything like this before. Very cool. Go down in the pants. We'll look at those real quick. He is wearing his your knee pads. Say what you will about the knee pads. This is get probably a guy that would need the knee pads. I would think if like the back of our box here, if he's hunkered down behind something trying to hack and defend himself or hide or whatever. I can see him actually having some knee pads because he is a badass. He's going to be out in the field. He's not sitting behind a desk somewhere. Going around reinforced knees in the pants, textured pants going straight down, covering the tops of his boots. And he's going to have all our standard articulation for a Joe that we've come to expect by now. We'll see how all of those joints work in a minute. Let's look at the back here. On the back of his belt, it does have this red and yellow wire. Guessing that actually looks like it's got connectors or something on the end of the wire. So he is not going to be using the Wi-Fi. He is hardwiring into whatever he is doing. There's a lot to this guy. There's a lot of little subtle hidden details in Mainframe. He looks fantastic. Buttons again. I missed the buttons on the zipper part, so maybe that just folds over and snaps. I don't know. Man, this is a good looking figure. So let's see. Missed the patch over here on the left shoulder. Nice red patch with the Mercedes emblem on it. I don't know. It's not the Mercedes emblem, but kind of looks like it, doesn't it? And then over here on this wrist, so this is what I was talking about with the other binary. He does have this other device on his wrist, and that I think all of this is binary. Like, I don't know binary, I can't translate it, but I actually tried to Google this and translate it because I thought that this was going to come back and say, drink more Ovaltine, but I could not get it to translate. So maybe if you're good with binary, you know what that says. 100 100 000 110. let me know. I'd like to know if it actually says something. Double jointed elbows, no problems there. Check out the knees, no problems there. This guy's buttery smooth out of the package. Wrists are vertical swivel on the right and horizontal swivel on the left. They've been doing that a lot. And this device here is going to come off. It's a separate piece spinning around. So if you want to take this off, you can. And let's see how it'll stand up. Beautifully stands very nice. Good balance to him. All right, let's check out some of his stuff. Pop that head sculpt off. I guess I should have put the helmet on before I went ahead and changed heads, but since we're here, we'll look at it. Man, I'm gonna have to see what the other one looks like with the helmet on, because that looks great. I really like that look with the headset and the cap. Looks really, really good. So now, since I'm in too big of a hurry, pop the other head back on and get his helmet on for the classic look. So now you got your classic mainframe. What do you guys think? You like the classic look better, or you like the new one with the hat and the comms? They both look good and they both work with all of the paint on the figure itself. We'll just leave that one on for just a minute. No extra web gear or anything to put the backpack through. This concerns me a little bit. This is a really, really short backpack peg, and this may hit and keep it from going in very far. Not as good as some more recent ones we've seen. It does not go in very far, but it is a thicker peg, it looks like. So maybe it'll stay in there. Pop that thing loose. And hands are back to the not super gummy pliable hands. They are more the rigid plastic. And luckily, he does not have the crazy thumb that does that and makes it damn near impossible for them to hold their weapons. Pretty sure I put that in backwards. This is probably supposed to face inward, but he can actually hold it, and that is probably due to it having the little bit more rigid plastic, because I think it would probably force its way out of there. There's the backpack with that on. And since we're abusing this right hand with forcing it open, there's that thing. Maybe he's looking for ghosts. It's a PKE meter. Either way, he can actually hold it. So, and that's again, if he had the gummy hands, like Sci-Fi's hands are really gummy, you can definitely tell a big difference between his hands and Mainframe's hands. Mainframe's hands are not gummy at all. Let's see how he can hold this boring pistol here. Man, this will be fun. Getting this in here. There goes something. His hands actually feel like more like a Mythic Legion hand. Like they're just flexible enough. He actually can hold that straight, but again, we have a vertical swivel on that hand. So it actually looks pretty good. Some of these guys have to hold their pistol like that, like they're just going to club somebody with it. So that was his holster that I popped off of there. Looks pretty good without the holster. And I think they probably did this with this new web gear because it's kind of in the way. I have a feeling that this may pop out of there with that mushroom peg. So let's see if we can get it in the holster. Another mushroom peg there. It will be much easier to put this in the holster and put the holster back on him than it will be to try to get this thing in there and snapped back together That actually stays down, that holds. Get that back in there. So there we go. There's the pistol. Knife. Hey, he's got a sheath. Let's see what he looks like holding the knife. Now you know. Knowing's half the battle, or so I am told. I'm really kind of impressed with Mainframe. This is a really good figure. So let's see if he can hold his case, because the angle of his hands, of his fingers, is a little weird. He can hold it, but I feel like it's not going to take much for it to come out. You can do that. You can split the finger there and put his forefinger on the outside of the handle. Don't look as good, but it's not as loose. And this thing does have a tendency to pop off even with that thinner hose. There he is, all geared up. So there's a Mainframe, man. He's really good, y'all. Uh, get him over here beside his buddy Daltone. Now I said we were going to talk about people talking about how short they are. This is where this over the shoulder camera view is not as great, because you can't get a good sense of height. Daltone is definitely taller by like half a head. So he's taller. Let's see about Sci-Fi, because Sci-Fi is a pretty tall character. So definitely size difference there with Sci-Fi. So he is definitely short. He is a shorter character. Don't bother me. I don't care. Poor Dial Tone looks lost without all of his gear, doesn't he? He just got out of the ramen van, and all of his stuff is packed up in a bag over there underneath another table. Um, Leatherneck, that's the one. So old Leatherneck. Everybody talked about how short Leatherneck was. Well, I got news for you. Mainframe is shorter. Not by a lot, but Mainframe is definitely a little bit shorter than Leatherneck is. So if you have a thing against short people, maybe skip Mainframe and seek some help. This is a fantastic figure, even though this thing keeps popping off of here. Um, you need Mainframe. That's all there is to it. Mainframe, man, I can't find any real faults with Mainframe, honestly. Other than, I mean, maybe the fingers. So he's not perfect, but man, he's close. Mainframe is going to be a 4.75 yeehaws for me. I'm so glad I got this dude. I can't wait to get him and Daltone together on some surveillance missions. So I'll get some pictures put on here for the end of you guys. Let me know down in the comments. Are you a Mainframe fan? Do you like Mainframe better than Daltone? Uh, I like both of them, but Mainframe was just a little bit less of a nerd, which is a badge of honor now, I guess. Anyway, I will see you guys on the next one here on 3 Star Draw.